Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Hi,
Good
hi,
morning.
JJ. Hi, Nancy, Margie, Renee. It's good to see all of your lovely faces.
You too, Kristen. Good to see you again, too.
So letting a couple people in here and then we'll get started.
See JJ. Hi, JJ.
Hi.
Good morning, Danny.
Kristen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, we've still got a lot of people jumping on. All right, so just so you guys know, we are recording this video. We'll post it to our website afterwards. And thank you so much for everyone coming. Welcome. Good morning. I hope everyone's had their morning coffee. We're going to get started in just a moment, but as always, I'd like to go through a couple of ground rules. My name is Kristen Sharp, and I am the events director for the Oro Valley Chamber of Commerce, and we are putting on a series called Let's Connect. And today we are connecting with Jim Horvath of Town West Realty. So before I let Dave talk a little bit, a couple of housekeeping things. If you would please keep your microphone muted unless specifically asked to unmute, we would appreciate it. The chat does only go to me, so if you have any questions, that way it's just easier for me to see them and communicate them with Dave, and Dave will be asking the questions after the presentation. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll receive them and send them on to Dave, and we will ask them as we can. Also, if you would like to put your name and contact information in the chat as well, go ahead and take a couple of minutes to do that first thing before the questions start coming in, so I can see the questions easier. So take a first couple of minutes right now, put your name, your business, your contact information in the chat, and I will send that information out to all of the attendees as well as the PowerPoint at the conclusion of our program this morning. So I think that's everything I have. We will wait to ask questions until the end of the presentation. So if you want to wait till everybody kind of gets their contact information in the chat before we start adding questions, I would appreciate it. And Dave, go ahead and take it away.
Can everybody hear me all right? Give me a thumbs up there. Kristen tells me that my audio's been breaking up a little bit, so I'll try to be conscious of that. Thank you, first of all, for being here. I want to give a special welcome to Mayor Winfield. I see Councilman Mo Green, Paul Melcher, and Margie Adler from the town of Oro Valley. Members of our board of directors, thank you for coming. I see some tenants from the marketplace and the village center. Appreciate you being here as well. And you know, the intention of this is to share information and learn about an exciting project that's in the works for our community. Oh, I see Daniela from Sun Corridor. Daniela, thank you so much for being here. Our special guest today is Jim Horvath, and Jim is the CEO of the Town West companies. They've been in business in Greater Tucson for 40 years now, going on 41 years, and Jim has lived in Greater Tucson for 45 years, which is like the vast majority of his life, I'm quite sure. Town West, as you know, has had the Mountain View Plaza up in Rancho Vistoso, is a longtime commercial holding for the company. They purchased the shopping center Oracle Crossings, anchored by Sprouts in late 2017. And then in 2019, they purchased the Marketplace, which they are now calling the Oro Valley Village Center. And they've got some great and exciting plans that we all wanted Jim to have the opportunity to share. Jim has a PowerPoint. We're asking to go through quickly on the PowerPoint and then of course field your questions. We typically limit these events to about 1 hour. So Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jim Horvath.
Thank you, Dave, Kristen, and thanks everyone for your interest. I guess we can start right out on the PowerPoint. We'll try to get our screen share up.
And here we go.
Okay, so we're talking about reimagining the Oro Valley Marketplace as Oro Valley Village Center. As Dave mentioned, Town West is, we're coming up to our 41st anniversary in February 20th. And so we've been here working in Tucson, developing and repositioning and renovating and hopefully improving the communities and areas that we work in. These are some, we have a number of projects around town that you're familiar with, I'm sure. Josser Village, Sam Hughes Place, Dave mentioned Oracle Crossings, the Plaza del Oro Shopping Center at Orange Grove and Oracle, the Park Place Apartments at which, you know, the Plaza del Oro Shopping Center is the Hobby Lobby. We did several renovations on that center and repositioned it with Hobby Lobby and CVS moving to the end cap. The apartments right behind it, Park Place Apartments. We did a complete renovation inside and out, really upgraded that property quite a bit. I think there's a picture of Casa Presidio Apartments, which was up on the top left, which was a kind of a, well, it was actually it was a former HUD project that was, had become an eyesore. It was condemned, it was dilapidated, and we took it and completely gutted it and redid it. And it's a very successful project and a big improvement to the area itself, Campbell and Fort Lowell. And actually the city of Tucson came to us and asked us to please take this because it was fenced off and it was becoming an eyesore and a big problem for them. It was boarded up. So anyways, that's some of the projects that we've done, and there's others. Next. So talking about the marketplace, it's on 105 acres at the southwest corner of Oracle and Tangerine Road. It's a fairly busy intersection, 51,000 cars a day, and there's I think our last count was about 11,000 cars on the loop road, which kind of, you know, is the main road going through the marketplace. As everyone knows, you know, there's a changing market in the retail industry as far as bricks and mortar, and well before the pandemic, there was a strong movement to go towards, you know, internet sales and online shopping. And of course it was, that was increased and the process was probably sped up a little bit by the coronavirus crisis. But there is still significant need for and presence for certain types of retailers who even though they have experienced significant increases in online sales, still need a bricks and mortar presence. One of those, for example, is Ashley Furniture, who is under construction now at the marketplace to occupy the old Dick's Sporting Goods spot, and that they've had an increase of over 400% in online sales, but a lot of it's driven by their actual showrooms and their brick and mortar presence. So it's a combination of things, and there are many other stores and shops, and both national, local, and regional, that I have expressed interest in the marketplace. as based on the future plans that we have for redevelopment. So repositioning the center is key to attracting those types of tenants. So what we've seen around the country, it's being done in other places, and what seems to work is to modify the plan from just a traditional shopping center or what was called the marketplace, and create more of a lifestyle atmosphere. So those include things like multifamily housing, hospitality, hotels, lifestyle, and activities such as restaurants, parks, entertainment areas, those types of venues that create a synergy and bring people to the area. These are some photos of different centers around the country. I'm sure at least one of these is in Phoenix or Scottsdale, and gives you an idea of the activities, the lifestyle, entertainment, special events combined with the residential and hospitality creates a vibrant environment and brings people to the area, that brings people both for the shopping, restaurants, the entertainment aspects. And then of course, if they're living or staying at the property, it's very easy for them. It's a walkable situation. And this property lends itself, because of the size, to that type of redevelopment. This slide shows the undeveloped areas at the marketplace currently. And as you can see, there's a lot of vacant land that can be utilized or repurposed and can help create that synergy and vibrant environment that will support the stores and the shops that exist now and future ones that would be attracted to the location. So just starting at the top, this plan shows how we would propose to utilize those vacant pads or areas that are at the site right now. So A is an apartment complex on Tangerine. It's a vacant site that has sat there kind of graded right at the intersection of Water Harvest Way or Innovation Park and Tangerine Road. And that's planned for a 500 unit apartment site, hopefully to create the density and attract the density to support businesses at this location. B is a hotel site, referring it to the Tangerine Hotel. The hotels that we're planning on this site would be limited service hotels, similar to things like Hampton Inn by Hilton, Marriott Courtyard, or a Element by Starwoods. So those are kind of some, and we're actually in discussions with hotel groups, and there's pretty good demand for the hotels. C is our lifestyle and entertainment concept, and a second hotel, which is called the Oasis Park Hotel, and the lifestyle concept is the Oasis Park Lifestyle and Entertainment Center. And that kind of connects the property. One of the issues with this property was the way it was developed. It was a little bit segregated because of that sort of channel that runs in the middle. And so we've come up with a plan to connect that. D is a second smaller phase of apartments, about 229 units. That project is on Oracle there. So we're referring it to the Oracle Apartments right now. And then F is Oracle Road Hotel. And E is an alternate hotel site. We wouldn't put two hotels there. There'd be one of those two sites would be a hotel. We're also working with some automotive uses in that area, such as a car wash and tire store. So we're putting the pieces to the puzzle together. Going forward, this shows an overview of our vision of the lifestyle and entertainment area, the Oasis Park, and the different restaurant concepts that we would have there. At the very top, and I don't know if you could point to it, Heather, or not, but yeah, so right there, that large area is about an 1.5 acre area that we're referring to as an event center. So this area would be, currently the Oro Valley Marketplace has art shows, they have a koi show, they have the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, they have a number of different activities. They have, I think they've had, I don't know if they still have, but in the past they've had barbecue. I think it was like a brew and barbecue event. So there's a number of different things we'd like to bring. For example, the gem show there in the spring. We'd like to move the Christmas tree lighting to this location and combine it with a outdoor ice rink during the 4 to 6 weeks during the holiday season. But a variety of different events, including cultural, social, and entertainment experiences. And then we've combined that with a little bit of a waterfall and sort of a meandering stream and some rock climbing and play areas off to the side, and some shade structures and a little bit of a gazebo there, so that we could have either if there was a speaker or a small an acoustic guitar or singer during a farmer's market or during an art show or whatever. And going down to the would be kind of south here, and are some splash pads, and the building that you see there, it's actually a 4-story building, and that would be the Oasis Park Hotel. And we have tremendous interest in putting that hotel, probably be the first one built. And kind of our vision would be to try to do the Tangerine Apartments and the Oasis Park Hotel along with most of the park itself and the lifestyle and entertainment area. Along with that is a next to the splash pads, and we're planning 2 splash pads. Next in the next feature there in this sort of stream continues to a large wading pool, some waterfalls, and a fountain area, so that people can people and families can just sort of take off their shoes and walk in, up to below their knees or whatever, and maybe get splashed by the fountain. And then going further to the south is our couple playgrounds. They're not traditional type playgrounds that you would see at a park, but they're envisioned to be very unique and interesting for kind of people of all ages. And then along with that is kind of a bar restaurant venue that's sort of part of the hotel, but we're referring it to as the Oasis Sandbar, and it's kind of in there's a sand area, and then also outdoor patio area, sort of an indoor outdoor thing. Those are all shade structures, those sort of brown pentagon or octagon things, they're permanent shade structures. And so the idea there is for parents, grandparents, their kids can sort of play in the playground or the sandbar, and the parents can have a iced tea or a cocktail and keep an eye on them, or grandparents. Going further to the south, the Keg restaurant is right there, and currently, and then we're planning again to continue that little water feature with some, again, shade structures and walking paths, and a miniature golf, additional shade structures, and then going on down to the 2 vacant restaurant pads and a 3rd pad that we would create at the south end at the Ring Road, the Water Harvest Way Road, which may become renamed as Oro Valley Village Center Drive, or Village Center Drive, probably. But anyway, and of course, to the east a little bit, there's the Olive Garden restaurant. But those 3 restaurants and the sandbar, we've been working with a few groups about doing all 3 of them. And the idea, the one in the middle is sort of a design, or the concept is to be a central outdoor large eating area, and kind of like a beer garden, or might be a brew pub, and that large patio in the middle might be for all 3 of the restaurants. And so it would be designed with shade structures, different activities. We have, some of the concepts that have been proposed to us are sort of combining a dog park with where people can bring their dogs, and we'd have one of the concepts has people there to take care of the dogs and play with the dogs. We have activities, and be off to one of the sides of the 3 different concepts that would be in there. Of course, the brew pub, beer garden concept is very popular, and then the other activities combined as well, including outdoor games and other kind of like something I guess I would refer to culinary dropout, or the yard, where they have they might have horseshoes or cornhole or some of those types of activities. So anyways, that all sort of combined with the theater, and we've already got some tenants interested in moving in around the theater area as well as this redevelops. And of course, a lot of this interest is based on the new vision for the property. And we have brought some new tenants to the site, but I think a lot of them are waiting to see how this pans out. Going to the next slide, these kind of show some of the concepts that we looked at in creating the park area. The one at the very top is a wading pool and fountain in San Diego. It's probably a lot larger than what we would do, but it gives you an idea. There's a playground there. There's some of these sites. The one on the lower left is a splash pad in Phoenix. The couple other sites are from St. George in Utah, where you see waterfalls, water features, and splash pads and activities. Again, the yoga kind of shows something that can be done at the event center. Go on to the next one. This shows the ice rink in the upper left-hand corner. This ice rink is actually from downtown Detroit, but we put in our tree and the ice rink, and that's what we can do during the holiday season at the event center. The next lower one is a version of the Oasis Sandbar. You can see how that's sort of how popular that is in that location there. And it's a great spot for people to kind of, hang out and enjoy time with their family and their kids. And then there's a miniature golf area. There's a beer garden up on the right-hand side, shows the outdoor area, patio seating. Because we're on the bike path there, we also would like to try to get a bike rental or bike repair shop. So those give you some ideas of what we're thinking. There's some climbing rocks in the middle there. There's a more traditional playground. We'd probably do something a little different than that, but it kind of, again, gives you an idea of some of the activities that we're talking about there. And it's all designed to provide a tremendous amenity to the community, be an attraction to the center, but also to provide people with activity, cultural, social experience. This again shows the hotel and a little bit of the park. You can see the wading pool and some of the climbing rocks and the fountain. You can see some of the splash pads and the playground area, the sandbar, part of the hotel, the Oasis Park Hotel. Again, these are slides sort of showing, conceptually our vision of what the Oasis Park would look like. This is just sort of a layout. And that's kind of a rendering of what we think the Oasis Park Hotel might look like. It's comparable to the buildings that are out there now, and many of the same materials and color palette. Yeah, go back to that one. Sorry. So this, again, just kind of to keep you oriented on where we are on the property. The park is in the center, letter C. And then I think we're moving on to, go ahead, A, yes. So Tangerine Apartments, this is a site plan showing it's a podium style apartment project, meaning the parking is on the ground level and the apartments themselves are built on the podium. This is more of more of a luxury condominium type apartment project. And although they will be rentals as opposed to sales, they are condo quality, I guess you could say. And so if you go to the next one, these are some floor plans that show how the units will look, and there'll be studios, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. And I think there's even some 3-bedroom with lofts. So they have a variety of sizes and price ranges. And this is a rendering of what the apartment project on Tangerine might look like. And again, it has the same materials and color palettes that are out at the property now. There's an office on the in reception area on the ground level, and possibly some light retail on the ground level. Isn't there another slide that showed the? Okay, go ahead, next. So this again, just to orient you, we're going now to the Oracle Apartments, which is D. And this project is going to have a little parking deck. So it won't be, they'll have some parking as part of it as a deck. All these projects are self-contained for the parking. All the hotels and the apartments are self-contained for the parking. So they're not taking any of the parking away from the retail. Go ahead. Go ahead. And this is again, the vision of the Oracle Road apartments. This shows the amenity in the courtyard, which will be similar to what's on the Tangerine Apartments as well. You can see it's fairly attractive and upscale, not your traditional garden style apartments that you see throughout Tucson. This go back to that. This also shows maintaining a restaurant pad to the right. It's a single-story drive-through restaurant there. We're maybe hoping for a breakfast concept there and coffee, and so but that would be part of this Oracle Road project. These are just some kind of, again, inspiration from other projects around the country, and just shows a similar style and type of what we're envisioning there. The next project we'll talk about is the Tangerine Hotel B, and the Oracle Hotel, because okay, we'll put them both together. So this shows the sort of site plan concept for each hotel. This shows the inspiration board of other similar hotels around the country. I think ours actually is the ones we've done are probably a little nicer than these, but I think this is the Tangerine Hotel. Again, color palette, materials similar to what is already approved at the Oro Valley Marketplace, and this is the Oracle Road Hotel. We're committed to reimagining the Oro Valley Marketplace into a vibrant place where residents and visitors can gather to work, play, shop, live, and stay while enjoying the beauty of Oro Valley. That's our vision. Again, this shows the concept plan just to reorient you. I think that's the final slide. Go back to the okay, I think that's the final slide. I went through it fairly quickly, so if I'm sure there's a lot of questions, but hopefully, and we can bring back up any slide if anybody wants to review it. But with that, turn it over to Dave and answer any questions that you might have.
Thanks, Jim. And can everybody hear me all right? Good. I do have a question right off. Jim, specifically, is the plan for 2 hotels or 3 hotels? Someone is asking.
It's ultimately 3 hotels.
Okay.
So the Tangerine Hotel, the Oasis Park Hotel, and the Oracle Hotel.
Jim, what sort of a timeline is your company working with? I know that there have been conversations, and clearly you've invested a lot of time and resources into the preparation of this proposal. Tell us what is going to happen from your perspective as you work with government for permissions.
Well, we're hoping to get final approval for the project from Oro Valley sometime this summer. So hopefully early summer. So we're beginning to do all the public outreach, and hopefully we'll be in front of planning and zoning in the not too distant future, and then on to the mayor and council. We have our second submittal comments now, and we're addressing those and working with the staff, and hopefully be moving forward.
Jim, you mentioned Ashley. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We would start construction if we were able to get approvals this summer, early summer. We would hope to spend the next 6 months in the planning phase, getting our permits completed, and start construction, hopefully on the Tangerine apartments and the Oasis Park Hotel and the park itself. That would be the first 2 projects that we would phase in.
Thank you. Jim, you mentioned Ashley Home Furnishings coming in, and that's certainly a great development for everybody. Could you give some update to our guests about what's happening with lease extensions and any other prospects that you see right now for occupancy?
Okay, I thought about this, and I was kind of, I knew this would come up. And of course, Ashley, we're excited to have them, and everything was slowed down a little bit because of of course, the pandemic. But they are under construction and planning to open May 1st. We have brought in some other tenants that you might have seen out there. H&R Block, Lewis and Ivy is a salon that's doing very well. I think the Salted Pig just got their occupancy permit or completed their construction, their barbecue restaurant near Tuesday Morning. So there's been some good activity. There's a chiropractor going in, or he's there now in temporary space, but his actual permanent space is under construction. And we have a lot of other interest, like I say, both nationally and regionally. And some of it is predicated on getting the apartments and the density there and some of these other contributing amenities. So, but I could tell you that there's strong interest from national type retailers that want to be in this location or have an opening for a spot in this location, but they're concerned about the density and the traffic or lack of traffic that's being generated in the center right now.
And to that point, somebody who's clearly a Cost Plus enthusiast is asking, can we get Cost Plus to come back?
I don't know about Cost Plus, but I think we have better, and I hesitate to mention and get people excited about things that may or may not happen, but there are national retailers that I think I could mention some of the ones that we're targeting. And we don't know whether they would come or not for sure, but there's some that have expressed interest. And one of those might be Lowe's. They have a neighborhood concept that would take both the old Big Lot space and Cost Plus. Another one is Floor and Decor, who needs a northwest location. Another one is, believe it or not, IKEA. Which would be fantastic. Again, these would all be subject to, getting a level of activity and traffic at the center that would justify and support their tenancy.
Sure. Understood. They need to see some level of density and activity to justify their investment in coming into the space.
Right. Another one is Harbor Freight. So
great.
So anyways, those are some of the people that we're talking to.
Somebody's asking, if things go optimally, we could see construction activity as soon as a year from now, perhaps?
Yes, we would hope that maybe the end of this year or early next, we would be able to start break ground on one or two of the projects, and maybe even, who knows, some of the retail concepts as well.
Someone's asking, do you have people identified to build the project and to manage apartments and other uses?
Sure. Yes, we do.
What about smaller shops? You have some smaller tenants, some of whom have been very loyal to the center since it opened. And we'll presume that you're going to try to keep those, but is there a concept in mind where you would have what we call boutique, smaller establishments in the center?
Well, we're somewhat limited in terms of what's already there. So we have to kind of work within that sort of framework. But yes, I mean, there's a couple areas where we would like to concentrate on smaller shops, and we also have an interest in creating possibly a medical area as well, because the hospital's right across the street. And we've had a lot of interest from medical groups, and maybe we can combine that with some retail. For instance, if we brought in a family practice or OBGYN, we might combine that with maternity clothing or some kind of other activities for children or families. So those are things that could happen. So we're working through all that and seeing where we can fit all that and how we can do it to optimize the opportunity.
I love this question, and it's one that I ask and so often think about myself. What's keeping you up at night about this project, Jim?
Well, sometimes it's just the excitement and enthusiasm that I have for it, and what a great opportunity it is to build something like this and to be a part of something like this. So that's real positive. And of course, you always think about things that can go wrong, and we're trying to do everything we can to make sure we're on a positive path, and hopefully we'll succeed.
Jim, there's a lot of people who are in business on this call and they want to see some success. What is it that people can do to express their support and try to communicate their enthusiasm for what you're proposing?
Well, we have a support document that we've circulated, and I think it's on our website. Heather, how do you get on that?
I could send the website link to the Oro Valley Chamber of Commerce, and we can send it to everyone on this call.
Okay, but it is
Yeah.
Oro Valley Village Center.
Mhm.
.com, is that what it is? Or?
Yeah.
And there's Oro Valley Marketplace also has either one of those. It's available on there, and it's also available on the Town West website, I think. And anybody can send a letter of support or enthusiasm, address it to whom it may concern. Can be emailed to us at or sent to our Town West Realty offices, and we'll be able to share it with the city council and staff, and of course speaking in favor of the project at any of the meetings or outreach programs or the planning and zoning or city council hearings.
Jim, someone has asked about transportation, and are there thoughts, or does it work for you to try to think about how to get people into the center? There's some Sun Transit kind of an option that you would look at to move people to and fro?
Well, there is some SunTrans service there right now, and there's a stop at the it's kind of the public restroom facility, and we also have the bike path and walking path that goes, actually goes, I think, throughout Pima County. I think you can connect to maybe 140 miles of biking, but the roads, of course, are there and in, and the idea is that building the hospitality and the apartments on site is that people will be able to either walk or ride a bike, or it's a very short drive from any of these venues. But of course, we'll work with SunTran if there's any additional things we can do to get bus service there. That would be, or more frequent stops. And I think that would, again, relate to, as this is built and how much demand there is for people to be there, they'll probably add service. And we will certainly work with them for that. Inside the project, we're going to have maybe times where, parking may get distance from the venue that someone's wanting to go to. And if that is the case, we're talking about having some shuttles just for circulation inside for people that will need that.
Jim, somebody asked a question, and you've alluded to some of it earlier. We're almost a year into a pandemic, and certainly that has affected every business. How has the pandemic affected this proposal, and to include the sort of makeup and idea of people that you would be recruiting, as well as changes in your plans and then delays?
Well, it's probably been some, there's been some delays. It probably affected some of our existing tenants, and may have resulted in some modifications of their business. I'm sure it has, especially the restaurants. One of the things that it did was reaffirm our desire to have that large outdoor dining, and we kind of referred to it as the beer garden, but really just an outdoor courtyard that's shared by the 3 restaurants that we would put there, so that we would have a great venue for outdoor dining and enjoyment and socializing, and kind of have some themes that would be attractive for people to participate there. And so I think that has been more reaffirmed, and if anything, we want to expand that concept. But overall, I think we're pretty much on track with what we planned.
One recap, somebody requests, do you have an idea how many total hotel rooms might be in those 3?
I think it was about 370. One of them is about 120, one's 150, and I think the Oasis Park is 98.
As I listen to this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right, go ahead.
As I listen to this and I think about what the possibilities are, should we be viewing this as kind of an economic engine for Oro Valley?
Well, I think so. I think it's a tremendous amenity for the town, a great opportunity to create something special. And, I know there are businesses that come and look for opportunities in Oro Valley, and companies that want to expand, but they also need amenities for their people, activities for them to do. It's kind of a quality of lifestyle thing. Having social, cultural, entertainment amenities nearby is a great asset to Innovation Park and the community as a whole. And I think of many people that live and do business in Oro Valley really want something like this, and something like this, and the activity that it presents and the opportunity it presents.
So what do you think? Let's project 10, 15 years down the road. If we get all these things done, how are we different, and how have we improved?
Well, hopefully you've got something that's provided a lot of enjoyment and entertainment and family and community time, and I hope it may and very well could lead to the relocation or location or expansion of businesses in the area and economic benefits to all. So that would be our goal, to be a tremendous asset to the community, and I think that's kind of sums it up.
Sure it does. And again, the websites are orovalleyvillagecenter.com. Is that right?
Right. TownWestRealty.com.
Yeah.
TownWestRealty.com.
And OroValleyMarketplace.com.
Sure. And again, as a chamber, we'll certainly try to keep all of our guests today informed about progress on the project, and as people are inclined to weigh in on it and make comment. I know that the council looks at those things, and planning and zoning as well. So appreciate everybody being here. I think I've pretty well run through the questions, some of which were duplicated questions. Somebody's asking, are there any flyovers possibly linking the south side of Oracle? And I'm not really sure what that means, but access-wise, this will be coming to Oracle from the existing access at Innovation, or at Water Drive.
Water Harvest Way, yeah.
Water Harvest Way, that's it, yeah. Jim, there were no plans to add any more entrances or exits, is that correct?
No, I mean, the property is accessed by the ring road for the most part, although there are a couple right in, right out accesses on Oracle. And I don't think there's any other access on Tangerine other than the main one at
Water Harvest Way.
Water Harvest Way.
You've got adequate parking to accommodate all of these uses?
Yes, and then you know, with the apartments, we're adding a small parking structure on the Oracle apartments and doing the podium style on the Tangerine so that we can park underneath.
Sure.
So they're all self-contained. The interesting thing about this property, a lot of it's all graded. Much of it's paved already. So, and then the infrastructure is already built in there, and so it's kind of, you know, just repositioning it to the proper kind of mix that will attract both businesses, retailers, and the hospitality and residential components.
I know that the drainage that goes there along the lifestyle center was actually constructed as part of the project here. If you're going to run water in that thing, is it a recycled water or
Yeah, that
harvest?
the water we put in would be recycled and used. We would still have to maintain drainage for, you know, storm water, and that would be kind of condensed towards the, I guess it'd be the northwest side, kind of along Walmart, along the Walmart parking lot.
All right, any other questions out there? Last go for everyone as we approach 1 hour here. Last call. Kristen, you got any more questions there?
Will Walmart stay?
Oh yeah, Walmart does tremendously well there, and of course their sales have even had a significant bump during the pandemic. So I think they're pretty happy and pretty excited about it, and they're been pretty supportive of this concept. So I think they feel that this is you know, probably a positive development for them as well.
Yeah, I think they do. And the mayor and I, we visited with the manager of Walmart not so long ago, and she had double figures year-over-year increases from the past during the pandemic. And she also, you might want to know that Walmart is a training facility for all the Walmarts in Southern Arizona, from Casa Grande all the way to Sierra Vista. All their associates come to the Oro Valley Marketplace store when there's no COVID going on, and they have classroom training to get their folks ready to go. So Walmart, as a major employer and company in the community, has really made an investment in this store, and I'm very sure they're here to stay. So that's good news for all. Okay, I think I've run through all the questions. Thank you so much. And Jim, I want to give you and Heather special thanks for making time out of your day. I want to thank everybody, all of our guests who are with us. And I think we topped out at about 75 guests this morning. So appreciate your participation. Just yesterday, we learned that next Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, we're going to be so privileged to have Dr. Teresa Cullen, and Terry Cullen is the head of the Pima County Health Department. And she's going to join us for Let's Connect to talk about COVID-19 vaccination distribution and the challenges that she faces. And I know a lot of people, of course, are interested in that subject. And Terry's just said yesterday she's going to join us. So we're going to crank up the publicity and get guests to attend, and hope you will all join us. And then the following Thursday, Mike Boreal is an attorney with Boreal Law. He's a member of our chamber, and he's going to talk to you all about what the law is regarding vaccination. What are the rights and requirements of employers and employees as you think about whether you ask people or require people, whatever it might be about COVID-19 vaccinations. So we'll certainly invite you to join us for those things and watch our digital communications for more information. Kristen, have I got it all covered?
Yes, you did. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Thank you again for being with us and stay in touch. Take care.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jim.
Bye. Thank you all. Have a great
Thank you.
day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.